Hey everybody, it's Travis speaking. Last time we took a look at some of the modification tools in Revit Architecture 2014, and we were able to take a look at the Align tool, the Trim Extend, and the Split tool. What I'd like to show you today is how to use the Rotate tool. We're going to get into copy and maybe cover a little bit more of the move, and if we have time, we'll take a look at mirrors and arrays. So that's quite a bit for 10 minutes, but I want to keep it within that time frame so nobody falls asleep. Anyway, what I'd like to do is, with this little tiny floor plan that we had from the last tutorial, I'm just going to install a component. So we'll go to the Architecture tab, go to Components, and in here we'll just load another family. We've got this desk, but let's get something a little bit more interesting. I'm going to come over here to Furniture, and let's take a look into seating. And we've got some chairs in here that we can use. So when you're loading families, just remember that if you go to door, you're going to have to load a door family. If it's a component, then you have a little more freedom. But depending on the tool or the family that you're trying to load, like tags and such, you're going to actually have to go and get a tag family. So I'm just going to take a look. I like this chair, Le Corbusier. So I'll hit open and we'll load this up into our project. So as you can see, I'm just placing this anywhere. Now if I want to move this, as I'd mentioned in the last tutorial, I can just highlight it, hold down my left mouse button and move it around. Or if I need to use a specific snap, I can access my move tool and I can place an O snap or an object snap wherever I really need it. So if I want the corner, I can do that. So now I've got my corner and I can actually place it nicely. So this is handy if you're creating stairs and you want to grab the stringer and line that up with a floor or what have you. You can grab specific points using this move tool. Now if you want, you can also rotate this, and if I rotate it, when I select my family and I select the rotate tool, you'll notice that I've got this center node or grip, and when I bring my mouse outside of the bounding box, I'm getting a line. This is telling me how this is going to rotate. So I can start my rotate by left clicking and it gives me a degree, and I can enter degrees in, or I can rotate it arbitrarily. Let's say 45 degrees is what I want, so I'm just going to choose enter, and then we'll just drag that back out a little bit. But what if you wanted to rotate this about a different point other than that center point of the bounding box? Well, that's no matter either. You just go back to your rotate and click right on that node. What that does is allows you to move it from the center point over to any other location that you need to. So I'm just going to grab this point here, and now you see that my line is actually from the corner. So I'm going to grab this corner here, and now I actually have a nice reference angle, so I can line that back up straight, or I can enter another value with the keyboard. But what I'm going to do is just leave it as such, and then let's put a row of these. So I can do this a couple ways. I can, with my chair selected, come to the copy tool, and I can check off multiple. If I don't check multiple, then it's going to allow me to copy this once. That said, now that I've got multiple checked, I can copy it over and over and over again. Now that I've got 4 of these and they look pretty much how I want them to, what I can do is create an array of these. So to create an array, you select the objects that you want to create your array with, and come to this icon right here. It's the 4 squares. So when I select this, I'm getting a couple options. I can do a linear array, or I can do a radial array. I also have the option of group and associate. So if I don't want these to stay together after the array is created, I would uncheck this. If I want an associative array, which I do, I'll keep that checked. Now it's saying, how many of these groups do you want to create? Let's try 3 for the time being. And you have the 2 options of move to the second or move to the last. So if I move to the second, I'm going to simply grab another point and bring it to my second row. And when that looks good, I'll left click again and it creates my array. So now that that's done, I'll left click again and you'll see that each one of these array groups is now together. I can ungroup them afterwards and now I'll have single objects, or I can leave them as groups, and if I need to I can always edit this after. Maybe I need another chair in here, so I can copy this out here, maybe for a legend or what have you. And when that's done, I'll say finish, and that's still located in that group. So that's the array tool quickly, and the rotate tool quickly. Let's look at something else. Let's take a look at the mirror tool, because that one I find is very, very handy. Let's say I've got a configuration on one side of this grid line and I want it to be on the other side of the grid line as well. Let's just put a couple walls in there. With any type of wall selected, I'm just going to return that back. So now I've got this little tiny room with a chair in there. Probably not a very comfortable room at this point for a chair, so let's remove that. What I want is to have these wall segments mirrored about this grid line right here. So if I want to mirror something in Revit, I can come up to these two options. This one is for an existing axis, and this one is if you want to draw it. So what I can do, I'll just choose the pick axis for the first time, and you'll see at the bottom of the screen it's saying select the axis of reflection. Well, if I select that grid line, it brings another set of wall segments in, perfectly symmetrical. So that's good enough for that one, but what if I wanted to put this on an arbitrary axis? Then I also have the option of drawing a mirror line. So that's this next mirror tool to the right of the other one. So I'll select that, and now you'll see that it's saying pick start point for axis of reflection. So let's just try something a little bit more interesting here. I'm going to do this on a 45, and you're seeing that it's saying, well, these are overlapping. It gave me that error message. But let's just take those two out, and we'll leave these in there. So now you can see you can do all kinds of great stuff just by quickly drawing in a mirror line. This goes very fast. So to recap what we've done today, if you were to draw out a whole bunch of stadium seats and you've got that on one wing of a theater, well, you don't have to draw the other ones. You don't have to create multiple arrays. Just grab all your array groups and simply mirror it across to the other side of the building. So that's a quick look at some of the other modification tools in Revit 2014. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. Bye now.